Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day.
The late afternoon sun filters through the blinds, casting long, jagged shadows across the living room. I stand in the center of the mess, a duster in one hand and Ali's diary in the other. My heart hammers in my chest. I knew I shouldn't read it. Respecting privacy is a cornerstone of any relationship. But Ali hasn't been herself lately. She's been staying late at work more and more often, growing distant and cold. The warmth in her eyes, the playful spark, has been replaced with a dull, almost mechanical gaze. I could feel her slipping away from me, and I had no idea why. The diary's leather cover is worn, the pages slightly yellowed at the edges. I flip it open, my fingers trembling. I shouldn't do this. I know I shouldn't. But I need to understand what's happening to my wife, the woman I thought I knew inside and out. I start skimming through the entries, my eyes darting over her neat, cursive handwriting. At first, it's mundane, notes about work, reminders, and the occasional musings about her day. Then, I stumble upon an entry dated a month ago, and my breath catches in my throat. Tonight, meet Alex at our place in the park near the evening night movie theater. I know cheating is bad, but I can no longer attach my life without Alex. My vision blurs as I read the words again. Cheating. My Ali, my faithful, loving wife. The word burns into my mind like a brand. My grip tightens on the diary, my knuckles turning white. I feel a mix of anger, betrayal, and heartbreak swirling inside me, a storm of emotions threatening to tear me apart. I sit down heavily on the couch, the diary clutched to my chest. I need to think. I need to figure out what to do. The park near the evening night movie theater, our park. The place where we shared so many memories. And now, she's meeting someone else there, someone named Alex. A plan starts to form in my mind, born out of the chaos of my emotions. I need to see this for myself. I need to confront her, to confront them both. I can't just let this happen without doing something. I won't be made a fool of. I check my watch. It's almost 6. If I leave now, I can get to the park before them and find a good spot to watch from. My heart races at the thought of what I might see, but I know I have to do this. I need answers, no matter how much they might hurt. I grab my jacket and head out the door, my mind focused and determined. The drive to the park is a blur, my thoughts racing faster than the car. I park a few blocks away and make my way on foot, taking care to stay out of sight. The park is quiet, the usual evening crowd thinning out as the sky darkens. I find a bench with a clear view of the spot mentioned in Ali's diary, partially hidden by a cluster of bushes. I sit down, my heart pounding in my chest, and wait. The minutes tick by slowly, each one feeling like an eternity. I try to calm myself, to focus on my breathing, but it's no use. My mind is a whirlwind of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. Then, I see her. Ali walks into the park, her head on a swivel as she looks around. She's wearing the blue dress I bought her for our anniversary last year. The sight of it twists the knife in my heart a little deeper. She's alone for now, but she won't be for long. A few minutes later, a tall man with dark hair joins her. Alex. They embrace, and I feel like I'm going to be sick. This is it. This is the moment that changes everything. I watch as they talk, their faces close, their bodies' language intimate. The pain is almost unbearable. But I force myself to keep watching. I need to see this through. I need to know the truth. As they sit down on a nearby bench, I stand up slowly, my legs feeling like they might give out beneath me. I take a deep breath and start walking towards them, my mind made up. They don't see me coming until I'm almost on top of them. Ali, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. She looks up, her eyes wide with shock. Jake? I turn to Alex, who looks just as surprised. And you must be Alex. Nice to meet you. The tension is palpable. Ollie's face pales, and Alex stands up, his posture defensive. I can see the panic in her eyes, the guilt. She opens her mouth to say something, but I hold up a hand to stop her. Save it, I say, my voice trembling with anger. I know everything. I read your diary, Ollie. I know about the meetings, about the lies. Ollie's eyes fill with tears. Jake, I can explain. Explain what? I snap. Explain how you've been sneaking around behind my back. How you've been lying to me, betraying me. Alex steps forward, his hands up in a placating gesture. Look, man, this isn't what you think. Shut up. I shout, my rage boiling over. You don't get to say anything. This is between me and my wife. Ollie starts to cry, her shoulders shaking with sobs. Jake, please. I never wanted to hurt you. I couldn't help it. I fell in love with him. Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stagger back, my vision blurring with tears. You fell in love with him. What about us, Ollie? What about everything we've been through? She reaches out to me, but I step back, out of her reach. Jake, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. I shake my head, the pain too much to bear. I can't do this right now. I need to go. I turn and walk away, my heart breaking with every step. I don't look back. I can't. The betrayal is too fresh, too raw. I need to get out of here, to clear my head, to figure out what to do next. As I leave the park, a plan starts to form in my mind. A plan for revenge. They think they can hurt me and get away with it. They have no idea who they're dealing with. I'll make them pay. I'll make them both pay. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. The walk back to my car is a haze of anger and hurt. I barely notice the people I pass, their faces blending into a blur of indifference. As I slide into the driver's seat, I take a deep breath, trying to steady my shaking hands. I need to think clearly. I need a plan. I drive aimlessly for a while, my mind racing. Thoughts of Ollie and Alex together flood my brain, each one more painful than the last. The love of my life, the woman I trusted more than anyone, has betrayed me in the worst possible way. And Alex, who the hell is he to come into my life and take what's mine? I pull into a quiet parking lot and kill the engine. The silence is deafening, but it gives me a moment to collect my thoughts. Revenge. It's the only thing that makes sense right now. I need to make them feel the pain they've inflicted on me. But how? My phone buzzes in my pocket, pulling me out of my thoughts. It's a message from Sarah, my sister. She's always been my rock, the one person I can rely on no matter what. Maybe she can help me figure this out. Hey Jake, just checking in. Haven't heard from you in a while. Everything okay? I type a quick response. No, everything's not okay. Can we meet? I need to talk to you. Her reply is almost immediate. Of course. Come over. I'm home all evening. I start the car and head towards Sarah's place. The drive is short, but it feels like an eternity. When I finally pull up in front of her house, I see her standing on the porch, a concerned look on her face. I get out of the car, and she rushes to me, wrapping me in a tight hug. Jake, what's wrong? She asks, her voice full of worry. I take a deep breath, fighting back the tears. It's Ollie. She's been cheating on me. Sarah's eyes widen in shock. What? Are you sure? I nod, my throat tight. I found her diary. she's been meeting some guy named Alex. I confronted them in the park tonight. Sarah leads me inside and sits me down on the couch. She makes us both a cup of tea, the familiar routine soothing in its simplicity. When she sits down next to me, I finally let the tears fall. She holds me, her presence a comfort in the storm of my emotions. After a while, I manage to pull myself together enough to talk. I tell her everything, the diary, the confrontation, my plan for revenge. She listens quietly, her face a mask of concern. Jake, she says softly, I understand why you're angry. But revenge isn't the answer. It'll only make things worse. I shake my head, the anger flaring up again. I can't just let them get away with this, Sarah. They need to pay for what they've done. She sighs, squeezing my hand. I get it. But you need to be smart about this. You can't let your anger control you. You need to think this through. I nod, knowing she's right. But the need for revenge is still burning inside me, a fire that won't be extinguished. I need a plan, something that will make them regret ever betraying me. As we sit in silence, an idea starts to form in my mind. It's risky, but it might just work. I need to gather more information about Alex, figure out who he is and what his weaknesses are. If I can find a way to expose him, to turn the tables on him and Ollie, I might be able to get the revenge I crave. Sarah, I say, my voice firm, I need your help. I need to find out everything I can about Alex. Can you help me with that? She looks at me for a long moment, then nods. Okay. But promise me you'll be careful. Don't do anything stupid. I promise, I say, though I'm not entirely sure I mean it. The next few days are a whirlwind of activity. Sarah and I dig into Alex's background, using every resource we can think of. It turns out he's a co-worker of Ollie's, someone she's been working closely with for the past few months. He's single, lives alone, and has a reputation for being a bit of a ladies' man. Perfect. One evening, as Sarah and I are sifting through social media profiles and work emails, my phone buzzes with a call. It's Mike, a mutual friend who works in the same office as Ollie and Alex. I've always liked Mike. He's dependable, loyal, and has a knack for finding out things others want to keep hidden. Hey Jake, Mike says when I answer. I heard you've been asking around about Alex. What's going on? I hesitate for a moment, then decide to come clean. Ollie's been cheating on me with him. I need to find a way to expose them. There's a long silence on the other end of the line. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Ollie's a good friend, but this is messed up. What do you need? I explain my plan to Mike, and he agrees to help. He's in a unique position to gather intel from inside the office, and he promises to keep his ears open for anything that might be useful. A week later, Mike calls me with news. Jake, you're not going to believe this. I overheard Alex talking to someone in the break room. He's been bragging about some shady deals he's been involved in, embezzlement, kickbacks, you name it. If we can get proof of this, it'll destroy him. My heart races with excitement. This is the break I've been waiting for. If we can expose Alex's illegal activities, it'll not only ruin his career but also show Ollie just what kind of man she's been cheating with. It's perfect. Mike and I spend the next few days planning our next move. He manages to get access to Alex's office after hours, and we sift through his files, looking for anything incriminating. It takes time, but we finally hit the jackpot: emails, bank statements, documents that prove Alex has been skimming money from the company for months. Armed with this evidence, I know exactly what to do next. I set up a meeting with Ollie's boss, Mr. Thompson, and lay everything out for him. He's shocked and furious, promising to deal with Alex immediately. The next morning, I get a call from Ollie. Her voice is frantic, panicked. Jake, something's happened at work. Alex has been arrested. They found out he's been stealing from the company. I can hear the confusion and fear in her voice, and it gives me a twisted sense of satisfaction. I know, I say calmly. I'm the one who exposed him. There's a long silence on the other end of the line. You did this. Yes, Ollie. I did. And now you know what kind of man you've been seeing behind my back. I hope it was worth it. I hang up, a weight lifting off my shoulders. It's not over yet, but I've taken the first step towards getting my revenge. And it feels damn good. Ollie's frantic phone call rings in my ears long after it ends. The satisfaction of exposing Alex is still fresh, but it does little to ease the gnawing ache in my chest. This was just the beginning. I know there's more to come, and I need to be ready. The next morning, I wake up to a flurry of notifications on my phone. Texts from mutual friends, missed calls from Ollie, and a few emails from work that I decide to ignore for now. I focus on the texts, scrolling through messages from people asking if I'm okay, expressing their shock at the news about Alex. One text catches my eye. It's from Sarah, need to talk. Come over ASAP. I quickly get dressed and head to Sarah's place. As I drive, I replay yesterday's events in my mind. Ollie's shock and confusion, her desperate calls, and the look on Mr. Thompson's face when I handed over the evidence. It felt like a victory, but it's not enough. Not yet. When I arrive, Sarah is waiting for me on the porch. Her expression is a mix of concern and determination. She leads me inside without a word, and we sit down in her living room. She hands me a cup of coffee, and I take a sip, the warmth calming my nerves. What's up? I ask, setting the cup down. Sarah leans forward, her eyes searching mine. Jake, this whole thing with Alex. It's huge. But I'm worried about you. What's your next move? I sigh, running a hand through my hair. I don't know, Sarah. I feel like I've won a battle, but the war's not over. Ollie still doesn't understand the depth of her betrayal. She's still, I don't know, lost. Sarah nods, her expression thoughtful. Revenge might feel good in the moment, but it won't fix what's broken between you two. Have you thought about confronting Ollie directly? Really talking to her? The thought sends a jolt of anxiety through me. I don't know if I can. I'm still so angry. Before Sarah can respond, there's a knock at the door. We both freeze, and my heart starts to pound. Sarah gets up and opens the door to reveal Ollie standing there, her eyes red from crying. She looks at me, her expression a mixture of guilt and desperation. Jake, can we talk? She asks, her voice trembling. I glance at Sarah, who gives me an encouraging nod. I stand up and walk to the door, my emotions a tumultuous mix of anger, hurt, and the faintest glimmer of hope. Fine. Let's talk. We step outside and walk to a nearby park. It's the same park where I caught Ollie with Alex, and the memories are still raw. We sit down on a bench, the silence between us heavy and oppressive. I'm sorry, Jake, Ollie begins, her voice barely above a whisper. I never meant for any of this to happen. I never meant to hurt you. I take a deep breath, struggling to keep my emotions in check. Then why did you do it, Ollie? Why did you betray me? She wipes away a tear, her hands shaking. I don't know. I felt lost, disconnected. You were always working late, and I felt invisible. Alex made me feel seen, important. But it was a mistake. A huge mistake. I listen, my anger slowly giving way to a deep, aching sadness. Why didn't you talk to me? Why didn't you tell me how you were feeling? I tried, she says, her voice breaking. But every time I did, it felt like you were miles away. I thought you didn't care anymore. Her words hit me hard. I think back to the late nights at the office, the missed dinners, the times I was too tired to talk. Maybe I did push her away without realizing it. But that doesn't excuse what she did. I'm not saying it's your fault, she continues, as if reading my thoughts. I made my own choices, and they were wrong. I don't know how to fix this. I look at her, the woman I once loved more than anything. The betrayal still stings, but there's a part of me that wants to find a way back. I don't know if we can, Ollie. Trust is broken, and that's not easy to repair. She nods, tears streaming down her face. I understand. I want you to know how sorry I am. And if there's any chance at all, that we can work through this, I want to try. The sincerity in her voice touches something deep inside me. I want to believe her, but the wounds are still fresh. I need time, I say finally. I need time to figure out if I can ever trust you again. Ollie nods, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Take all the time you need, Jake. I'll wait. And if you decide you can't forgive me, I'll understand. We sit in silence for a while, the weight of our conversation hanging in the air. Eventually, we stand up and walk back to our cars. Ollie gives me one last, tearful look before driving away. I head back to Sarah's place, my mind a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. When I walk in, she's waiting for me, her expression anxious. How did it go? She asks. I sit down heavily, running a hand through my hair. I don't know. She's sorry. She wants to try and fix things. But I'm not sure if I can forgive her. Sarah nods, her eyes filled with sympathy. It's a lot to process. Take your time. And remember, whatever you decide, I'm here for you. Her words bring a small measure of comfort, but I know the road ahead is still uncertain. As I leave Sarah's house and head back to my own, I feel a sense of determination building within me. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm not going to let this betrayal define me. The next few weeks are a blur of conflicting emotions. I throw myself into work, trying to distract myself from the pain. Ollie reaches out occasionally, but I keep my distance, needing time to heal. I meet with Mike a few times, and he helps me keep tabs on the fallout from Alex's arrest. It's clear that his career is over, and he's facing serious legal consequences. One evening, as I'm sitting at home, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Meet me at the park. Urgent. I frown, my heart racing. It could be a trap, but curiosity gets the better of me. I grab my jacket and head out, my mind racing with possibilities. When I arrive at the park, I see a figure standing in the shadows near the bench where I confronted Ollie and Alex. As I approach, the figure steps into the light, and I'm shocked to see it's Alex. What the hell are you doing here? I demand, my anger flaring up again. Alex raises his hands in a placating gesture. I know you have every reason to hate me, Jake. But I need to talk to you. There's more going on here than you realize. I narrow my eyes, my instincts on high alert. What are you talking about? He steps closer, his expression serious. I've made some enemies in my line of work. People who would do anything to take me down. And now, they're coming after you too. My heart skips a beat. Why would they come after me? Because you exposed me, he says, his voice low. They think you have more information that could incriminate them. You're in danger, Jake. The words send a chill down my spine. I've been so focused on revenge that I didn't consider the wider implications. What do you expect me to do? Alex looks me in the eye, his expression earnest. We need to work together to bring these people down. It's the only way to protect ourselves. I take a step back, my mind racing. Trusting Alex is the last thing I want to do, but if what he's saying is true, I might not have a choice. I'll think about it, I say finally. But if you're lying to me, I'll make sure you pay. He nods, a look of relief crossing his face. I understand. But we don't have much time. They're closing in. As I walk away from the park, my mind is a whirlwind of confusion and fear. The stakes have just been raised, and I have no idea what's coming next. But one thing is clear, the fight isn't over. Not by a long shot. The days that follow are a whirlwind of confusion and anxiety. Alex's warning plays on a loop in my mind, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. I know I need to act fast, but trust is a rare commodity, and the idea of working with Alex still feels like a betrayal in itself. One evening, I receive another text from Alex, "Meet me tonight. We need to make a plan." 9 p.m., the old warehouse near the docks. I stare at the message, my heart pounding. This could be a trap. But if what Alex said is true, I don't have much choice. I need to get to the bottom of this and protect myself. I decide to go, but not without backup. I call Mike, filling him in on the situation. He's shocked, but agrees to come with me. "I'll be there, Jake. We'll figure this out together." At 9 p.m. sharp, we pull up to the old warehouse. The place is eerily quiet, the only sound the distant lapping of water against the docks. Mike and I step out of the car, our footsteps echoing on the concrete as we approach the building. Inside, the warehouse is dimly lit, shadows dancing on the walls. Alex is waiting for us, his face tense. "Thanks for coming," he says, glancing nervously around. "Get to the point," I snap. "What do we need to do?" Alex takes a deep breath. "I've been dealing with some dangerous people. They're involved in money laundering and other illegal activities. When you exposed me, they assumed you had more on them. We need to find their records and turn them over to the authorities. It's the only way to stop them." Mike and I exchange a glance. "Where are these records?" Mike asks. Alex pulls out a piece of paper, handing it to me. "There's a safe in the back office of this warehouse. The combination is written here. Everything we need is inside." I nod, taking the paper. "Let's get this over with." The three of us make our way to the back office. The tension is palpable, each creak of the floorboards making my heart race. We reach the office, and I enter the combination into the safe. The door swings open with a metallic groan, revealing stacks of documents and a laptop. "Grab everything," Alex says urgently. "We need to get out of here before they find us." As we start packing up the evidence, the sound of footsteps echoes through the warehouse. My heart leaps into my throat. "We've got company," I whisper. Mike pulls out his phone, ready to call the police, but before he can dial, the door bursts open. 3 men enter, their faces obscured by shadows. One of them steps forward, a sinister smile on his lips. "Going somewhere?" "Who are you?" I demand, trying to keep my voice steady. The man laughs. "You're in way over your head, my friend. Hand over the documents, and maybe we'll let you walk out of here." Alex steps forward, his face pale. "You're not getting anything. It's over." The man's smile fades, replaced by a look of cold determination. "Wrong answer." In a blur of motion, one of the men lunges at Alex, but Mike and I react instinctively. We tackle the attacker, the three of us crashing to the ground. A chaotic brawl ensues, fists flying and bodies colliding. I manage to land a punch on one of the men, sending him sprawling, but another grabs me from behind, pinning my arms. Just as things start to look bleak, sirens wail in the distance. The men freeze, their eyes wide with panic. "Cops are coming," one of them shouts. They scramble to their feet, making a hasty retreat out the back door. I struggle to catch my breath, my body aching from the fight. Alex helps me up, his face etched with relief. We need to go, now. We grab the remaining documents and bolt out of the warehouse, just as police cars screech to a halt outside. Officers swarm the area, and I see Sarah among them, her face filled with worry. "Jake," she calls, rushing over. "Are you okay?" I nod, panting. "Yeah, we're fine. We've got the evidence." The officers take our statements and secure the documents. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, but I know this isn't over yet. Alex's involvement complicates things, and I need to know the full truth. Later that night, back at my apartment, Alex and I sit down for a final conversation. "Tell me everything," I demand. "No more secrets." Alex sighs, running a hand through his hair. "I got involved with these people because I was desperate. I made some bad decisions, and they took advantage. When you exposed me, they thought you were a threat. I'm sorry, Jake. I never meant for any of this to happen." I nod slowly, processing his words. "And Ollie? What was she to you?" He looks away, shame evident in his eyes. "A mistake. I thought I loved her, but it was just an escape from my problems. I never wanted to hurt you." The anger I've held onto for so long starts to fade, replaced by a weary acceptance. "You've made a mess of things, Alex. But if you're serious about fixing this, we'll see it through." He nods, determination in his eyes. I am. I want to make things right. In the weeks that follow, the evidence we gathered leads to a series of arrests and exposes the criminal network Alex was involved with. It's a long, grueling process, but we get through it. Alex testifies against his former associates, and in return, he gets a reduced sentence. As for Ollie, she reaches out to me again, this time with a sincere apology. We meet one last time, the conversation bittersweet. "I'm sorry, Jake," she says, tears in her eyes. "For everything." "I know," I reply, my voice gentle. "But it's time to move on. For both of us." We part ways, the chapter of our lives together finally closing. It's a painful but necessary step towards healing. Sarah and Mike stand by me through it all, their support unwavering. And though the future is uncertain, I'm ready to face it head on. One evening, as I sit on the porch of my new apartment, the sun setting in a blaze of colors, I feel a sense of peace. The past few months have been a whirlwind of emotions, but I've come out stronger on the other side. The road ahead won't be easy, but I'm ready to start anew, free from the shadows of betrayal and deceit. As I watch the last rays of sunlight dip below the horizon, I take a deep breath, feeling the weight of the past lift off my shoulders. It's a new beginning, and this time, I'm determined to make it count.